Jake Paul?
Jake Paul challenged Soulja Boy to a boxing match, and Soulja called Jake a bitch. Here's how it all started. On February 1st, Jake Paul tweeted, "I want to box Soulja Boy." Then Soulja Boy quote tweeted Jake and said, "Boy, I'll knock you out." Jake Paul retweeted Soulja's tweet. Then the next day, Jake Paul quote tweeted Soulja and said, Yeah, and you probably think Tyson copied the way you punch." Jake was making fun of the recent controversy where Soulja accused Ariana Grande and Drake of stealing his flow. A lot of people were on Soulja Boy's side. They tweeted at Jake and said, "Soulja got the hands, bro. Be careful what you wish for. You would get battered." And others replied to Soulja and said, "Knock that white boy out with your Soulja gloves. Put him in the Soulja coffin. Then give him a Soulja burial. Hit him with the you." However, some people mock Soulja. This man has woman legs. Not if Nintendo knocks you out first, LMAO. And many were skeptical about Soulja. As much as I would like Soulja to win, I don't see it happening. Jake Paul is about 50 pounds on this man. I hate Jake Paul, but Soulja doesn't really look like he can fight, to be honest. Rapper versus boxer? RIP one more rapper. Some mocked both Soulja and Jake. Young and dumb. Can we get a double knockout? Others were amused by the news. I would pay good money to see this. That'd be funny, LMFAO. Some people believe it's just a publicity stunt. Don't waste your time. He's just seeking attention cause he dying on his views. The only time the Pauls were relevant was around the KSI boxing fight. Otherwise, their channel would be dead right now. That's why both the Pauls are hungry for an opponent again, so they can milk the drama again for another 6 to 7 months and become relevant again, LMAO. When lames try to be relevant. It's called making money. Yeah, and waste everyone's money like your brother did with KSI. And some people brought up Soulja's past fight. Just like his fight with Chris Brown was confirmed but never happened. I don't see this going down. My guy, you was scared of Chris Brown. Come on, Soulja, make up for that Chris Brown fail. People were referring to the boxing match where Chris Brown canceled on Soulja Boy a year ago in February 2017. And throughout their drama, Soulja was saying stuff like, "I caught 2 fades in the street since this whole beef and I won both fights. I guess Chris must hurt and got scared, LOL. Come on, boy. He ain't wanna see these hands. Facts." It seems like Soulja Boy got an ego boost over the cancelled fight, thinking Chris Brown is scared of him. But Chris Brown didn't cancel because he's weak. He cancelled it because it was immature. So it's not new behavior from Soulja to see him accept the fight with Jake Paul so quickly. The next day, Jake went on Instagram Live at the Super Bowl for the Rams vs Patriots game. Soulja joined the chat and mentioned the fight. Jake invited him to the live stream to talk more about it. Soulja Boy bet money on the match and said he would call former professional boxer Floyd Mayweather.
"I'ma knock you out. I got $20 million on the line. Let's go. I'm finna call Floyd Mayweather right now."
Jake agreed but thought Soulja was all talk.
"You wanna fight for real? Let's fight. Let's get real for a second. You're not down to train."
Soulja defended himself and brought up his past.
"Train? I don't need to train. I was born ready. I've been knocking out since elementary school. I already beat your big brother up. What you think I'm gonna do to you?"
Soulja was referring to this music video, "Whippin' My Wrist," that featured Logan Paul, which doesn't even count as a fight. After Jake kept pressing about officializing the fight, Soulja said,
"Let's do the contract. Where the contract at? Sign the
Yeah,
paperwork."
let's sign a contract. I'm gonna pull up on you.
TMZ Sports was skeptical about the match and interviewed Jake Paul. Jake Paul said he doesn't think Soulja Boy is serious.
"I think he's all talk. Everyone in this industry is all talk."
Then Jake said the match will be official once Soulja signs the contract.
As soon as he gives me his manager's number to sign a contract.
However, Soulja Boy confirmed the fight with Billboard.
"I'm gonna be fighting Jake Paul real soon in a boxing ring. $20 million. Yeah, it's confirmed. I'm gonna beat him up."
And told TMZ Sports that Jake Paul is underestimating him.
He ain't got no hands. He just think he gonna win because he got weight advantage.
TMZ was still skeptical and asked Soulja Boy about Jake's last boxing match.
"You didn't see him fight Deji though, did you?"
I ain't see him fighting. That's not Soulja Boy though.
Soulja Boy ended the interview by calling Jake Paul a
Jake Paul, you a
A week later, on February 14th, Jake Paul went on Instagram Live to show himself training for the match.
Soulja Boy already behind the 8 ball. Soulja Boy, you need to stop smoking and start training.
And now we're just waiting for Soulja Boy to sign the contract. So, what's the big issue? We're encouraging a YouTuber and a celebrity to fight for our entertainment. It's dangerous and it's for the wrong reasons. Mike Loosemore, the doctor for the British Olympic boxing team, explained, "To stop boxers from getting head injuries, you need to match them properly so they're boxing the right person. And Jake Paul is not a good match for Soulja Boy. Jake is experienced, while Soulja is not." Jake even received training from Floyd Mayweather back in 2018.
Got your back. I'm gonna train you. I'm gonna help you with, certain skills you need to know.
And Jake won the fight against Deji. Furthermore, Soulja Boy says he doesn't need to train. but this video he posted last month seems to suggest otherwise. He asked, "Me and Sammy caught a fade. Who won?" Many people had a mutual opinion. No one. Y'all both lost. Y'all flirtin'. Weak. You can't fight. If Soulja Boy doesn't train for the fight, he'll likely get injured. Here's a list of the common boxing injuries: bone fracture in the hand and wrist, dislocated shoulder, and concussion. Of course, having an experienced referee and well-trained medical setup will help reduce the risk of serious injuries, but Soulja Boy doesn't seem to be on par with Jake Paul in terms of boxing experience. Furthermore, they're in it for the wrong reasons. Jake told TMZ Sports this fight would be big because they're both very controversial people. He said, "I think people would love to see him get knocked out. I'm sure people want to see me get knocked out, so I think that's why it'd be a big fight." This fight would literally host a bunch of angry people that want Soulja Boy and Jake Paul to get hurt. I mean, just take a look at these tweets. I hope you both punch each other into a coma at the same time. I hope they equally smash each other's faces in. Hopefully they both. Similar to the KSI vs. Logan and Jake vs. Deji match, these sorts of fights are fueled on people's hatred towards the influencers. The crowd isn't there to enjoy boxing as a sport, they're there to see someone get humiliated. And Jake Paul and Soulja Boy don't care. Regardless of who loses, they both make money out of this match. In the Instagram Live, Soulja told Jake it would be a pay-per-view event. And on top of that, there are ticket sales at the live event. If we take a look at KSI vs. Logan and Deji vs. Jake boxing match, tickets cost approximately $50 to $100 and around 20,000 people showed up. And pay-per-view tickets on YouTube were at $9.68. KSI and Logan also signed sponsorship deals for the match. Business Insider calculated the KSI vs. Logan match generated as much as $11 million, and another source says the numbers are more likely to be around $5.5 million after taking into account the venue, staffing, and other fees. In any case, that's still a lot of money. But what's even crazier about Jake and Soulja is the fact they're both putting $20 million on the line. So regardless of who watches, they're both profiting. So, do we support them? It's an ethical question. BuzzFeed reporter Scotchy Cole said, "What happens when lousy people on YouTube become lousy people in the world? At what point do you stop engaging in a stranger's wish fulfillment to keep him rich and happy and semi-famous? There seems to be so little stopping people like Paul from failing upward endlessly into another level of celebrity, one where he might have to be more careful, but where he'll have access to a whole new audience who, likely as not, won't remember the mistakes he made on the way up." Which is true. It's sort of like a redemption arc for Jake Paul and Soulja Boy. Even though many people are going to watch because they want to see them get knocked out, the influencers still leave the ring feeling successful and they get paid by us. This says something about our culture. As editor Vlad Savov says, we've got people demeaning and diminishing themselves, appealing to our basest desires for unsavory spectacle. There's no longer a difference between fame and infamy. And this isn't something new. It's happening everywhere. There are so many strange people on Dr. Phil who want their 10 minutes of fame, and it works. I know it's tempting to want to see two controversial people fight, but it just feeds into their ego and won't help them become better people. At the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense for them to fight. As one person said, "I'm not a fan of either, I'm just looking at the positions they're both in. Soulja Boy is a rapper in the rapping community, Jake Paul is a vlogger for little kids. Literally wouldn't make sense if they did fight." What are your thoughts on the controversy? What are your reasons for wanting to watch the match? Let me know in the comments below.